Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, December 4th, 2025. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week, Matt Giovanisci of Brew Cabin talks about his trip to a spot 11,000 feet above sea level in the beautiful mountains of Colorado to rediscover his roots of home brewing. Matt left his fancy high-tech brewing system behind at the house and went back to basics to remember why he fell in love with brewing in the first place. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing, and many thanks to everybody who's helping out in that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. This week, financial supporters will see an early release of the video that Steve Wilkes and I shot about his Malty Red IPA. This was a recipe based on a beer that Steve sold as a kit back when he owned the local homebrew shop. But this time, he tweaked the recipe a bit, and the result was a malt-forward, slightly roasty IPA with a hint of brown sugar. No brown sugar was harmed in using or used in the recipe, but the malt combination came together very well to make a very drinkable beer. Financial supporters will also get the recipe for that beer. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving if you celebrated it last week. My family and I went to Hot Springs to visit with my sister and her family. My sister is now a great-grandmother, which makes me a great-grand-uncle, as I understand it. That'll make you feel old. When I got home, my bathroom scales showed the effect of the holiday and my inability to stay away from the cheese ball. I think that's my major weakness is cheese ball and crackers. I'm posting 2 shows in a row this time, last week and this week, to work around the Christmas holiday at the end of the month. In 2 weeks, we'll visit with our good friend Peter Simons about his latest book and his experience using AI to help do the research for that book. It's a fascinating conversation. And then for New Year's Day, I'm planning to post the annual Disaster Show, and we'll sample Scott Housel beers again this year, but we'll have him actually on the show. Doing a little different this year. We're recording that next week, so please get your disaster stories to me by this Friday the 5th. That's to james@basicbrewing.com. I dropped off a few of my Norwegian Robust Porters at Steve's house this week because I was making a delivery of another beverage for a future show. The porter's the recipe I got from Tom at Nagano, or Nogno, and I fermented it with the featured seasonal yeast from our friends and sponsors at Imperial Yeast. Imperial A10 Darkness was the perfect yeast for this big roasty beer, and A10 Darkness pairs flawlessly with roasted and caramel malts, and it certainly did in this beer. While its high alcohol tolerance makes it your absolute go-to for high-gravity beers and big, bold brews. And with 200 billion cells in each easy-to-open package, I like to say my stir plate is usually dusty because I don't use it anymore to make starters for moderate-gravity 5-gallon batches. And my airlocks are usually bubbling before bedtime. Ask your local homebrew store about A10 Darkness from Imperial Yeast, and you can check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. It's imperialyeast.com. Show our sponsor some love, and you'll appreciate it. Okay, let's talk to Matt Giovanisci about his trip to the mountains and his return to his homebrewing roots. Matt Giovanisci, welcome back to Basic Brewing Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Matt Giovanisci of Swim University and Brew Cabin, the recently reawakened Brew Cabin. You've been posting new stuff.
That's right. Yeah, I have been.
So should we talk about why have you been dormant? Why did you get out of the posting business?
That's a great question. The last video that I came out with, I looked it up. It was October of 2021.
Wow.
Which that doesn't compute with me. So I imagine that like during COVID, that's when I built the brewery. So that happened sort of late COVID, late first year of COVID, and then like so the idea of Brew Cabin wasn't even gonna be anything. Like I had no intentions of making a video, but my friend, when I was building this place, or when I hired people to build parts of this place, which I get criticized for a lot on YouTube, I understand. I did not put up the drywall, okay, but I did do a lot of other stuff. But yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, when I was building it, my friend was like, "You should just film. You should just document this for yourself." And so I thought, oh, okay, yeah, all right. So I just like brought my camera out, and every day we were working on it, um, and then I just decided to kind of put something together in post, like after it was all built. And I was like, all right, I'll just put it up on YouTube, you know. And then it did really well. So I was like, okay. So then I got into the habit of, you know, posting more frequently, and I think I did within that like full calendar year from like I guess it would be September or October of 2020 all the way till October of 2021, I published 5 videos. And after that, I had an idea that that I still have, that I'm still working on, I guess. And I just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't do it. And I thought, you know, there's a couple of things that went through my head. One was I'd done some like podcasting that I wasn't thrilled with. I was focused on like just making the hobby, and not necessarily the like also trying to build like sort of a side business out of it with Brew Cabin, and and then I just was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. And then I just kind of like stopped and focused on my core business, which I've been doing forever, which is Sim University. And then yeah, from there, I'm like, I should maybe just take a break. But I still brewed the whole time, except for the last year, which I didn't, which I talked about on your show. I took the whole year of 2025 to not brew, and I consumed. But yeah, I just was like, and everyone's like, why aren't you making beer? I'm like, because I'm focused on work right now. And, you know, and then like towards the end of the year, I read a book called The Power of Fun. By Catherine Price, and a friend of mine recommended it to me, and that book gave me sort of permission to be like, oh, I should probably start doing Brew Cabin again, because it was fun when I did it. And so that's really the book's the reason why I started doing it again.
Well, and it sounds like it became more like work. And you know, it's you know, and if something is, I mean, boo-hoo, I have to brew
Sure.
brew,
Yeah.
I have to brew for my job.
Yeah.
But it makes it less fun. I mean, I have to set up cameras, and I do the
Yeah.
behind the scenes video, and it's like I can't just like brew again, but
Right.
you know, it's more of a chore. So I can definitely identify that it's just not as much fun when and especially because you are so, I don't want to say intense, but you are very good at what you do when you're producing the videos. So there's a lot of creative energy going into doing that at the same time that you're brewing. And so I can see why it would become a little much.
Yeah, it definitely makes it harder to just want to brew, because it's like, well, I got to make sure I get this shot, you know, and if I miss it, I got to redo the whole thing, and it's, you know, and so yeah, for a while it was just, you know, it would just feel good to just brew and not have to be on camera to do it, you know, and so I think that, you know, I did a lot of brewing. I mean, I got married during that time and brewed all 9 beers for our wedding, and you know, had them on tap, and so like I brewed a ton. I filmed none of it. Probably should have documented that one, because that was intense. There was a lot of carboys in here. But yeah, I also too, I think, you know, I run my own business. I do content for a living. I've been doing it since, you know, 2006. And I know that trap of when you like, it sounds like a good job, and it is a great job, but it's still a job at the end of the day. And so, you know, I don't want to talk about pools all day. I really, I know that's my day job. And then like, yeah, with brewing, I just like beer. I like beer and I like brewing, and it's kind of like I didn't want to be on camera. But the book, I do love, and I hate to be pretentious, but I do love the art of filmmaking, and I'm like, okay, so I do have that hobby, and I do have homebrewing as a hobby, and I'm going to mash these two passions together, or what I refer to as passion mashing, and that's that is fun to me, but I just can't be on a schedule with it. And then, you know, obviously I haven't been, so the videos take a long time to make, and that's by design. And I go, okay, and what's nice is it's like now I'm not worried about, oh, people need content, and I have a business to run because I sell a course, or I sell books, or I sell whatever, or I have advertisers, etc., which is just how my day job works. So I understand, like, we have to put out content there. We have a system. But for this, it's like, no, it's kind of I want to treat it more as like a pure art project, which is kind of what I got. I'm also reading a book called We Need Your Art. So there's the book of The Power of Fun and We Need Your Art. And I'm sort of using that because, again, my job is my job and I love my job, but I need something other than my job because it is all consuming. I will work 24 hours a day on Swim University if given the chance. So I need another creative outlet that it does not tied to money.
So, which brings us to this video that we're going to talk about. You posted another short video, which we may want to talk about. We'll save it for the disaster show at the end of the year to get more into detail on that. But this video that you just published, it's really you're going back to your roots of brewing and kind of the reason why you got into brewing in the first place, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was by design. Again, everything's been very intentional. So the truth is that that's not the video I was currently working on. The video I'm working on is completely different and like way more humor, way more parody level, like what I used to do. But then I had this idea to basically make have you ever seen the YouTube channel Primitive Technology?
No.
Okay. I highly recommend this channel. It's I believe he's New Zealand. He's from New Zealand. And he does bushcraft out in the bush of New Zealand. And the videos are basically just a still camera. He shoots everything himself, but he builds these like amazing primitive structures all by himself. And it is very relaxing to watch because he's so gifted at what he does. And there's no dialogue, there's no music. It's just the sound of nature and him like making clay bricks to build a shelter, with mud from the woods, And so the original idea was, okay, what if you did something like that, but it was homebrewing? Like you went out into a beautiful place of the country and you just brewed a beer, out in the wilderness, no dialogue, just ambient noise. So that was just an idea that I had been sitting on for 4 or 5 years. And then the other idea I had was a separate idea, which was there's a show called Joe Pera Talks with You. And it was on Adult Swim for 3 seasons, one of my favorite shows of all time. And I was like, oh, what if you did like a cozy homebrewing like thing? And so those are 2 ideas kind of came together. And then at the same time, so I had those 2 ideas and I thought, that's a good idea. Let's do that video. And then I'm like, but why? Why are we going out why are we doing this? And so the truth was I hadn't homebrewed all year. So I'm like, okay, why? Why haven't I homebrewed all year? And it's like, well, because I feel like, I was a little conscious of health stuff for the year. I was also like, things got like to make a beer on this system that I have, and the process, the million-step process that I wrote down for myself to make a beer, and like measuring every pH of the mash of the post boil. I'm like, this is so much work. I just want to make a beer like I could just knock it out. Like I didn't have to think. My recipe's written on a piece of paper instead of like home brewing, like a complex software with water chemistry and all this stuff. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is my entry back into home brewing. So maybe I'll use this as an opportunity to sort of like get back to basics. And the sentiment that was going around, because I am a consumer of brewing content. I listen to your show, I watch all your videos, I watch anybody who's making any home brewing content on the internet. And the general consensus is home brewing is dying, right?
Mm.
And the number one cause that I heard from everybody was equipment got expensive.
Mm.
And the process is overly complicated. Everyone's got like pressurized unit tanks and electric, and it costs the hobby is no longer like entry level.
So why would you want a pressurized unit? So you could brew under pressure? Sorry.
Oh, is that Vanilla Ice? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I heard that loud and clear. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it 100%. I have my own theories as to why that home brewing feels like it's dying. I don't. And so anyway, I can talk a little bit about my theories around that. But I thought, well, then, you know what? I haven't made a video in 4 years. I need to get back into brewing. Here's these ideas that I can mash together. And I called up my friend and I said, because he's an outdoorsman, and I said, hey, listen, I have this idea. And he's also a photographer. I have this idea. What do you think? Do you think you can find a location and we can maybe go do something like this? And he was like, yeah. And it was like, okay, let's do it next week. And it's like, oh, okay, let's make it happen. And so it like once I gave him the seed of the idea, like it came together pretty quick, because we started this project at the beginning of October, and I'm like, well, this now's the best time of year to do this in Colorado. So it's like it's not super snowy where we couldn't get up there easily. It was still it wasn't super hot, so we still see snow on the mountains. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of the right time to like execute on this idea. And plus I thought, wouldn't it be a good return to home brewing if I didn't do it in this expensive, state of the art electric home brewery that I built. Instead just went like, I'm literally going to dust off my old equipment and go make the first beer that I really ever made, which is actually our recipe, to just kind of like fall back in love with this. And so, yeah, I've made like 3 or 4 beers since. So it's kicked it up a notch.
So describe the location, for those who haven't seen the video, describe the location of where you guys went.
It was Shrine Pass in Vail, Colorado. So I live about 2.5 hours away from that area. My friend lives closer to that area. So he goes backcountry skiing all the time. Like he's very aware of these areas. And I said, so truthfully, and I put this on my personal accounts, but what I was explaining to him, because he had never seen the Joe Pera show. He had never seen, he had no idea what was in my head. And so I used AI to generate, I'm like, this is the scene I'm kind of looking for. I didn't use AI for literally any other part of this video, but for just to describe to him what I was looking at, he goes, oh, okay. And then started pulling up different places that we could shoot. And one of them was Shrine Pass. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. If we can get a spot, it's like it was a displaced camp. Is that what it's called? Displaced camping? Dispersed camping?
Disused? No.
Dispersed camping.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I was.
Yeah. Again, I'm not an outdoorsman.
I was going down the wrong direction.
Yeah. So
I'm just
we
like
ended up finding
a clueless thesaurus.
Yeah, we found we got super lucky, if I'm being honest. Like we got it was a bluebird day. It was a Saturday. I got up early, drove up to his house. We packed up the truck, and we drove up. It was a little muddy because they had just gotten a little tiny bit of snow, but it was warm enough. It was probably like 65 degrees up there, and it was not a cloud in the sky, and there was nobody around because it's that in between season. It's not ski season yet, and it's like post the fall kind of season. So it was just like everything was at the right time.
And you're basically brewing in a postcard because,
Yeah.
behind you is just a snowy mountain pass and there's this beautiful valley and you're up there and it's just, describe your equipment. It's just a folding table.
Yep.
And back to basics gear.
Yeah. All the gear that I started with, kind of. I had a mash tun. I tried a long time ago. I tried building my own mash tun in an igloo cooler and just had a stuck mash immediately. And I'm not an engineer. I'm not a good builder of things, but I ended up just buying one that was already pre-made. But it's an igloo cooler. I had a burner. I brought a burner up there. That was the one thing we were kind of nervous about is, are we allowed to bring a burner up here? I don't know, but apparently people do it all the time. And it wasn't like fire season, which was good. So, and then, because the alternative would have been like, let's start a fire and let's just cook it over the fire.
Propane sounds safer at that point.
Yeah. So and then I brought up a kettle, a mash tun, and a hot liquor tank, which was just another igloo cooler that just held hot water. And only because I used one kettle for both the heating and the boiling, so I kind of needed somewhere to store, and I could have done brew in a bag, that could have been way easier. I could have skipped the mash tun, I could have skipped all of it and just brought a bag, but I did not start on brewing in a bag was not a thing when I started, because I started brewing in 2005, and like I had your DVDs. It's like that's how you kind of did it, right? So, and I thought too, like I want to use this old equipment that's like reminiscent of, that sort of brewing at that time. So I still have everything. I have everything. I have every piece of equipment that I pretty much ever bought. I still have it.
Yeah, I've got my old mash tun as well. And my old propane burner, which has come in handy actually a couple of times. You never know.
Yeah, that's the second burner I have. The first burner I bought was stolen. So stolen directly out of my backyard. So I just woke up one morning to go out there to brew, and I'm like, really? The propane tank was gone. Like everything was gone. I was like, okay.
Wow. And
yeah, not weird.
What are they going to do with that? I guess. You cook stuff.
Yeah, I lived in Boulder at the time, and it was I think some of the like unhoused population that took my burner for a heat source.
For heat. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, nah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Gave me an excuse to upgrade.
I was thinking, the reason Walmart never put, the big stores never put their like dirt, that they have stacked up out front of the garden center. They don't carry that inside and lock it up every night,
Right.
But who's going to steal dirt?
Who's going to steal dirt? Yeah.
But you used did you use a thermometer? I know you didn't take gravity readings, right?
Right. I did have a thermometer with me. Yeah, I had one in the kettle, and then I had one for the mash tun that I just stuck in there to make sure I hit as close to 150 as I possibly could. And I had done so because I haven't used this equipment in like 7 years, maybe. I brewed the day before. I brewed a whole beer the day before just to. Because I didn't know what else I was going to need up there. We had no running water. Like he's not a brewer, so like we brought his truck, and so I'm like, well, I have to know I have everything up there, or else, I would have figured it out because it's whatever. But so I brewed a beer here in the backyard with all of that equipment, and just figured out what I needed to bring. So I had like a little backpack of stuff, and one thing was the thermometer. Like a cloth to just wipe things with.
Yeah. Well, that's an excellent way to figure out what you'll need.
Yeah.
Is because you just brew and then take all the stuff that you just used.
Yep.
And you did batch sparging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is a lot easier than fly
sparging.
No
pump. I didn't have pumps, and I didn't really have. I had a little bit of gravity, but not enough to. And before too, like I only started fly sparging when I got the electric setup in pumps. So before that, I was always doing batch sparging. Yeah.
Yeah. In the beginning, I think I would just like pour, take a take a Pyrex cup and just pour the sparge
just manual
water
fly
on the
sparging.
top. And then I got fancy and I got one of this little whirly gig.
Yeah, I
that
remember
I got
that.
off of the internet. It was like a homemade thing that somebody made, but it worked. It worked really well to fly sparge. And then Denny Kahn came up with batch sparging, and I was like, well,
yeah.
now
so
my
much
life is easier.
Yeah.
But you didn't take gravity readings, at least not up there.
No.
And you did no chill as well.
I didn't, because we didn't have running water, so we didn't have enough snow either. If there was snow up there, I probably would have maybe chilled it in the kettle up there, but I didn't. But from what my friend told me, he's like, yeah, there's and there were like little patches. You'll see in the video, like there's some snow on the trees that we got shots of, but like no, where we were was kind of mostly mud. So
Ideally, the best resource to chill your kettle would be a flowing cold water stream.
That would have been great.
Because I don't know if packing. I've heard that
it creates an insulation, right?
Yeah, you're putting your kettle in the snow is not going to work all that well. So,
but I think if you move the snow around it and like just keep replacing it, you might. But I called you because I'm like, I've never done no chill before, so I'm like, I have a couple of containers here. I don't know if these are the right containers or if I need to go get something or but no, it came in handy because that's the other thing too is I won it when I went up there. Well, one, it was at 11,000 feet. And I have a clip of me saying 10,000 and my cameraman's like, it's 11,000. It's like, oh, okay. We're at alpine level. Okay. So like when I was up there, I didn't know what I was going to need or like I didn't know how like we were going to chill it or anything like that. So I was like, well, I guess I can do no chill and just like put it in this container and then drive it home. And the other thought was like, oh, how am I going to Vorloff? Like, how am I going to do these processes? And so I was like, well, part of my preparation was figuring out how can I get away with the least amount of things to bring up? Because I didn't want to bring up part of the video too. It's like, I don't want it to look like I just took my electric system and just brought it up to the mountains
with a generator.
So, it's like that kind of defeats the purpose. So it was like, oh, can I get away with like one spoon instead of like a spoon and a mash paddle and a other thing and this hose and that hose? And so like for the Vorlofting, I just used the no chill container to Vorloft with. So because I'm like, well, I could bring another container, but then it's like, well, then I have another thing to clean. It's another sticky thing to drive 2.5 hours home with. My car is going to smell like beer if I get pulled over. Like,
So you ran off a little bit of the mash and then poured it into the container, the no chill container, and then poured it back into the top. And it's brilliant. It
worked. Yeah, it worked out. It's not like it's the most cumbersome thing, but still, it worked.
Now, what was your experience with no chill? Did you like it?
I loved it. In full disclosure, I did change the recipe prior to putting out the video because it's a little too hoppy for me. It's I ended up putting 4 ounces in of hops, but because it sat it sat in that container overnight, it's a little too bitter for me. I mean, it's completely drinkable. It's very good. But yeah, I was like, if I were to do this again, I would do all 2 ounces in at the end of the boil and then let the isomerization happen in the container, because it's going to sit there for, 18 to 20 hours or whatever. So I made that quick, like last minute change just because if anyone does try to brew this with no chill, I want it to at least not be as hoppy as what I ended up getting.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah.
And also did you do dry hopping with the beer as well?
No.
So how was the hop character? Did you get, did the no chill, tame all of the hop flavor and aroma, or
there's still some, but if anything, it really amped up the bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
It But no, I think a lot of the hop aromas stayed. And originally, what I was going to do, and I just could not, I swear I tried so hard to find them. I wanted to use whole leaf hops just from a visual perspective. Because I'm
Right.
like, let's, if we're going to go this far, let's get some, good looking ingredients, I should say. No one had them. No one had them around me. And part of my rule of making this video was everything had to be local. So I did not buy anything off the internet. So all of the ingredients came from one local homebrew shop, which is actually featured in the video if you can find it. And I called around to all the local homebrew shops, which we have 3 in relatively decent driving distance, which is very good for me. And it's Colorado. No one had whole leaf anything.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, all right, I guess I'm sticking with pellets then.
Huh. That's surprising, especially, around where you live. It seems like, the beer purists would want that option at least.
Yeah. And I had just used all of my hops for the short form video that I put out. So I was like, oh, I don't even have my own I should have saved my own Cascade for this video. And I didn't think about it.
Well, there you go. Next year.
Next year. Yeah. Do it again.
Were there any surprises up on the mountain? I think I'm going to call this this video "Brewing Wild and High."
Yeah,
because you were very high up.
We were very high up. Yeah.
So how were there surprises on how the altitude affected the brewing process?
So I'm kind of used to it. All my stuff here boils at like 200 degrees. I think the limit. I think all of our stuff boils at 202 degrees specifically. At 5,000 ish feet where I'm at. I'm like 5,100 or something like that. But we doubled it. So I think we were boiling at like 193 up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so that was the other reason why I thought it would be so because originally the 4 ounces of hops, I was worried about that. So I'm like, well, we're not going to be boiling as hot. So I think it might be okay if I push the hops a little bit more than what I've been advised by, because I watched a ton of videos on No Chill Brewing because I'm like, I don't want to screw this up. And yeah, I thought that was one. So I was surprised by how hoppy it ended up becoming. That would be one surprise. But as far as like being up there, the prep day was crucial. I am so glad I did that. Had I not done that, it would have been a nightmare. But because one of the ideas I had was I was going to mill my own grains up in the mountains. I was going to bring a mill. I have this old barley crusher hand cranked. So that was the original plan. And so I did a test batch the day before. I put all the grain in the mill and I'm cranking it. And it's just like, it's taking forever. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is a stupid idea, but like maybe I'll bring a drill. I'll bring a drill up there. And so I hooked the drill up to the mill and I started drilling and it wasn't milling for some reason and I couldn't figure it out. And in the process of me fiddling with the drill, I knocked over the mill and all of the grain went all over my concrete deck. And I'm like, okay. And that's when I decided, nope, milling it before I leave the house.
Plus, if you get up on the mountain and it's windy.
Yeah, I'm like, forget this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would have been another surprise. It wasn't windy, and we got lucky. So it could have been really windy, and keeping the flame going would have been a little tough.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
I think a lot of it, honestly, we just got really lucky. The day was like we couldn't have asked. I literally couldn't have asked for a better day. When we went up, when I showed my friend the AI shot that was like, here's kind of what I'm looking for. Here's what's in my head. When we got up there, I'm like, this is a million times better than what AI came. This is insanely
wow.
Like real life was so much better. And we ended up taking like 363 thumbnail shots because we won at different times of the day because the sun was like moving really, really fast through the sky. So we were like, well, sometimes the sun's behind me, sometimes it's in front of me, whatever. So we just were like, let's just take a bunch. And they're all good. Like every one of them was like very picturesque. And I'm like, this is better than what I even had in my own head.
Wow.
which was just like, again, I think a lot of it was luck. And then him scouting that location was like, yeah, was crucial.
So know the right people.
Yeah. That's another thing too with Brew Cabin, this new sort of this second generation of me getting back into it is, and I did this with you. You're the only one I've done this with, but like I want to involve more people into the filmmaking process because I don't know, it's kind of the fun of homebrewing in general is when you do it with buddies. And when I was doing the original videos, besides the one I did with you, it's like it was the pandemic and I did everything by myself. So yeah, I had a friend who came up with me, filmed with me, scout out the location, like drove, did all that, really helped for, he did it for out of the kindness of his heart, just being a friend, and then so all the music in the video is also all original. And I had a friend help me with guitar. So he came over and he brought, a resonator and his like Les Paul, and we hooked it up to an amp, and,
Wow.
yeah, we recorded everything live with a microphone.
Wow.
So that was fun. And yeah, I contacted you and I said, hey, I have this idea for one specific shot. If you could send me some DVDs, I don't have those DVDs anymore.
Oh yeah.
But
There's a little basic brewing cameo in there.
yeah, a little basic brewing cameo. I was like, I have this weird idea. That idea was gonna get much weirder. I ended up there's a whole scene where I do a visual flashback of like the first time I made beer in a Mr. Beer kit, and so that's where you see the DVDs. And originally I had it was around Halloween, so I originally thought I'm gonna try to dress up as a younger version of myself making the beer as sort of a bit.
Wow.
Like, it's Matt, but maybe he shaves his face. I don't know. What am I gonna do? And I had just gotten back from the When We Were Young festival in Vegas. So I was just at this like huge emo festival. And so I'm like, oh, I'll dress up like an emo kid from like the early 2000s, and I'll be making beer as like this emo kid with a wig. And so I bought all these like, because I'm like, oh, I'll just wear it for Halloween. If I don't end up doing it, I'll wear it for Halloween. And then I just thought, I actually sent all of it back because I'm like, no, I'm trying not to spend money on this video. And here I am, it was a couple bucks on whatever. But yeah, I ended up not doing that bit, but it was in my head. Would have been weird.
Well, it's I mean, the video turned out really really well. And I showed it to Susan. You sent me the link ahead of time, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And we're both very impressed. And you I think you got a little emotional in the video. I think you kind of you can tell that it's like you felt something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what it was. So yeah, I would contemplate it. There's a long cut where I do get choked up. I thought about not putting it in because I'm like, ugh, I'm so embarrassed. But it's the most real take in the whole thing. And it's the view. It was literally like the view and me doing this thing that I truly love and like actually getting out there to do it. It was just like, and my friend was standing right there, filming. And I'm like, that was, it's whatever. It's embarrassing, but it's true. It's real. But yeah, I really do. Like I part of this, again, this part of this new approach to doing Brew Cabin, is doing it with friends and reconnecting with this hobby, which has brought me a lot of joy in life. It's my favorite beer. Like there's a scene in the video where I say, I love beer so much. I love my wife, but no, I mean, beer is a close second, and that's true. I mean, it's absolutely true. I've met all my friends through beer, or even through home brewing, and it is, and part of this iteration is like, how do I give back? Because I take so much from it, right? It's like I consume all the media, I buy all the things, clearly I buy all the things. And maybe that's a way of giving back, but I'm like, no, I want to I want to give something of me back to the hobby that gave so much to me. So that's part of doing this too.
Well, it's very well done, like I say,
Thank you.
It's an idea. It's similar to an idea that Steve and I have talked about. When after we get finished shooting a video, we'll sit and have a couple of beers,
Yeah.
and it's like, what we ought to do? We ought to go camping and like brew a beer on the shore of a lake, or brew a beer on the on a stream, and have Steve fly fishing in the background, which is what he does with his free time.
Yeah.
And but we're old, so
Yeah,
we
sure.
we get tired, and
I mean, I will say though that the equipment was not much. The no chill really helps.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's plastic. You're not bringing glass out there. You're not bringing stainless steel
Good
out
point.
there.
Good point.
And if you can get, if you have a camping table, if you have, you don't even have you don't even have to do you could have just done brew in a bag.
Right.
Right. So it's like, and yeah, in the future, if I were to do another video, I may not go as crazy with all the like mash tun and hot liquor tank and like all the vessels, but yeah, I would just do brew. So it was funny when we were up there. Immediately, my friend's like, "Oh, we have to do this again," and he's like, "Where do you want to do it next?" And I'm like, "He's like, we should go to Moab." I'm like, okay, like, all right, yeah." And I'm like, maybe it becomes a series where it's like, brewing in the wild, brewing wild ales in the wild or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe
Could be something
maybe
cool.
foraging for some local
Oh, we have
ingredients or something.
that's definitely an idea on the list. But yeah, like, I'm just too. I was scared because I'm not an outdoorsman. I go snowboarding. I go up to the mountains all the time, so I'm familiar with the area. But I'm like, are we gonna encounter a bear? And he's like, and my friend just like, yeah, maybe. I'm like, maybe. There's a maybe. There's a possibility. He's like, well, probably not, but it could be. He's like, I got bear mace. I'm like, oh my god, no way.
Yeah, bear spray is a thing.
Yeah, I'm like, God. I mean, he's like, yeah, but if a bear comes, like, wouldn't that be great for the video? I'm like, yeah, but I want to live. I want to live to edit.
He died doing the things he loved.
Yeah, I don't want to end up like Grizzly Man. He's like, come on.
Oh God. Oh no, Rowdy, no.
No.
Okay. Oh.
But yeah, so it is depending on, I was going to say, like, depending on how the video performs, I don't care how the video performs, honestly. We're probably going to do it again. We'll go make it a thing. Each year go somewhere interesting and cool. I mean, I live in a great area, so it's like, we have lakes, we have mountains, we got dunes, sand dunes. We could do that.
Yeah, it's cheating. Living where you're living as
Yeah.
far as that's concerned. Although Northwest Arkansas has some really beautiful areas as well, and Arkansas's got the Buffalo National River, which would be a great place to brew. And again, you could just stick, we could stick the kettle in the river and chill. It was Steve fly fishing in the background.
I mean, yeah, that sounds just fun to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I would do that and not film it.
Well, I got to shoot everything.
Yeah, we got jobs.
I have a gaping hole of content that I got to fill.
Yeah.
Hopefully with fun and tasty stuff. Well, I'm so happy that you're back in the saddle. If I can use that metaphor, but back in the producing videos, and hopefully it'll be, if not an obsession again, a good healthy habit that you can get back into, and something that you can maintain without getting too stressed out about it, and making it fun.
Yeah, and I'll be like the first generation, like there was no stress about it. It was there were other things pulling me away from it, and so it wasn't like the production of the video or the making of those videos were stressful. It's just that I had other obligations to fulfill, and so with this iteration, I'm just sort of like, well, I fulfilled those other ones. They're there, and they continue to be fulfilled, and I have free time. So it's like let me do this, and it does get me to brew more beer because, I'm willing to do crazier and funner things, for lack of a better word that doesn't exist, if it means I get to also do filmmaking, which I truly, truly love too. So yeah, I'm already working on the second one, another video, and I want to do shorts too. I want to do shorter form, grain to glass videos. Because I feel like, it's perfect for short form. But not every video has to be, this super produced, like crazy adventure thing, so.
Yeah.
Although, challenge accepted.
Well, Matt, it's been fun chatting just you and me. Usually, we're surrounded by a bunch of other guys.
It's true.
But, which we will again. I shipped off beers to y'all this morning. Hop Sampler 28 and my Nogno Porter clone, which I'm really interested. I had one the other night, and so far it's tasting pretty dang good. So I'm
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I haven't sent you guys. Well, I sent a couple of you guys the ginger and the Japanese lager.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't up to my standards of I want to share this with everybody. And
I saw the video.
And then my saison, I should have sent you that one though too, because that one turned out pretty good. Anyway,
the one you just made.
Yeah, the 15-minute the 15-minute saison,
the extract one.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's not, but doggone it, getting beers from you. Well, everybody else but me and Colby. If Colby would brew, he would produce some good beers too. But anyway, getting beers from you and Scott Housel and Josh and Adam. I feel a little intimidated. I mean,
and I have to send more. I have to make that a point because I have 3.
I would love to taste the one that you brewed on the mountain, and I would love to taste the backyard hops one as well.
Yep, and then I have the test batch that I brewed the day before.
Oh, that'd be was it the same recipe?
It's not the same beer. It's a completely. I did what did I do? I just did like a what do I want to call it? A smash beer. So I did just plain 2-row, like I guess it was like raw 2-row, and I had a bunch of Citra hops just in my freezer, and so I just did all of that. I dumped all of it in at the end of the boil. I think it was, I don't even know how many ounces. It could be like 8 or 12 or I don't know. And then I just ferment it with US-05 I had a glass carboy because I had to test that out too. And started fermenting the next day, and it's on. I kegged that one. So, and the homebrew one, or the amber ale one, I bottled 4 of them for the video, but there was no way I was bottling the rest. So I just ended up kegging the rest of it. But I can at least package it from there because I have a bottle filler and a can filler and all that. So
wow. Now I'm thirsty, and it's only 2:30 in the afternoon. So
yeah, some lunch beers.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I appreciate it again. If you guys haven't seen it, go to YouTube to the Brew Cabin channel, and then you did the short video on Instagram, or is that on YouTube?
Short video is also on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So check out, dust off your Brew Cabin subscription.
That's right,
and check it out, and leave a good positive comment below.
That's right.
And also, if you have a swimming pool or a hot tub, you can support Matt's primary business, which is Swim University.
It's so funny because I'll get comments on Brew Cabin videos where they're like, "Are you the pool guy?" It's like, "Yep, that's my day job."
The pool guy.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you, James. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Thanks again to Matt. Again, check out that video on Matt's Brew Cabin channel on YouTube. Lots of fun and very inspirational. And also look for the short that he did about brewing his homegrown fresh hop beer, too. That was kind of funny. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to james@basicbrewing.com. or just fill out the contact form on basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. That's all until next time. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. We'll talk to you next time, everybody. In the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.